May 1988, Amritsar, Punjab, the Golden Temple, the holiest shrine of the Sikhs, had once again been hijacked. The wounds of Operation Blue Star in 1984 had not yet fully healed when Khalistani terrorists had once again made this sacred site their impregnable stronghold. Inside, the dreaded terrorist commander Surjit Singh Panta sat coiled like a snake with hundreds of his armed henchmen. But amidst this terrifying atmosphere, a new face began to appear in the crowded streets outside the temple. A thin, haggard rickshaw puller. The terrorists inside, constantly in fear of death, were immediately suspicious of any stranger. Soon, their eagle-like eyes fell on this new rickshaw puller. They thought he was a new police informant. One night, in a deserted street, he was surrounded by a group of armed terrorists. "Who are you?" A police dog growled. "Death was standing right in front of you." A normal person would have begged for mercy or trembled with fear. But there was not a trace of fear on the rickshaw puller's face. That rickshaw puller was no ordinary man. He was Ajit Kumar Doval, the most dangerous and promising undercover agent of the Indian Intelligence Agency. The 1980s were a time when Punjab was burning. Operation Blue Star in 1984 had driven Khalistani terrorists out of the temple complex. But the country had to pay a heavy price. It was a conventional military intervention, using heavy weapons. The sacred Akal Takht was damaged, and the sentiments of the Sikh community worldwide were deeply hurt. Instead of eliminating terrorism, that single operation ignited a new, even more dangerous fire. By 1986, terrorists had once again taken over the Golden Temple. They had begun running a parallel government from within the temple. A radical group called the Panthi Committee had openly challenged the Indian state. The streets of Punjab were abuzz with fear. Targeted killings, the murder of police informants, and the execution of journalists had become commonplace. The government launched Operation Black Thunder in 1986. 300 commandos cleared the temple, but the real problem remained unaddressed as the terrorist network, their funding, and their original command structure remained intact. By early 1988, terrorists had once again made the Golden Temple their base. This time, their leader was a highly feared and cunning commander, Surjit Singh Panta. Panta had transformed the Golden Temple into not just a hideout, but an impregnable fortress. His objective was clear: to force the Indian government to launch another Operation Blue Star. He knew that if the army entered again and the temple was damaged, it would spark an uprising across Punjab that Delhi would never be able to contain. At 3 a.m. in a highly secret and secure room in Delhi, a high-level meeting was underway. On one side of the table sat PM Rajiv Gandhi, Intelligence Bureau IB Director M.K. Narayanan, IB Joint Director Ajit Kumar Doval, and in front of them were top NSG commanders. In the Aravalli hills of Manasar near Delhi, 1,000 NSG commandos were fully prepared, just waiting for the go-ahead from Delhi. But no one had the courage to give that order. "We can't afford another Blue Star. I don't want even a scratch on the holy site." Narayanan opened his file and said, "Sir, the problem isn't how our commandos will get inside. The problem is that we don't even know what's going on inside. Our intelligence is completely blind. Our informant has reported that Surjit Singh Panta has planted high-grade explosives throughout the Golden Temple complex. If our commandos enter, he will detonate those bombs. The entire Golden Temple will be destroyed, and the Indian government will be directly blamed." Hearing this, the room fell silent. The CRPF had surrounded the temple from the outside. But what was the actual number of terrorists inside? What weapons did they have? Where were their positions? And most importantly, were those bombs really there? Attacking without actionable intelligence was like jumping into a pit of death. Then Ajit Doval said, "Sir, if we want inside information, someone will have to go inside. We can only speculate from the outside." Narayanan looked at him. "Do you know what you're saying?" "Going inside means signing your own death warrant," Doval said. "That's why, sir. No ordinary informer will go." "I will." Narayanan looked Doval straight in the eyes and said in a stern tone, "Remember, Doval, you won't have any backup. If you're caught, the Indian government will completely deny you your identity." A slight confident smile appeared on Doval's face. "Yes, I won't need backup, sir." Then Narayanan said, "You're given permission. Go and eliminate this menace." The narrow, crowded streets surrounding the Golden Temple in Amritsar were packed with devotees and locals. Ajit Doval, a rickshaw puller, roamed among these crowds. He sweated all day long, ferrying passengers through the narrow lanes. But his eyes, like a vulture, were fixed on every entry and exit point of the temple. He silently scanned the temple's external security, the movement of terrorists, and their patrol patterns. The terrorists were extremely vigilant in that atmosphere of fear. Surjit Singh Panta's guru suspected every stranger of being a police informant. And soon, they spotted Ajit Doval. This game of hide-and-seek with death continued for nearly 10 days. Doval knew he was being watched. He wanted the terrorists to suspect him. He wanted them to come to him on their own, and on the 10th day, that's what happened. Doval was surrounded by a group of armed terrorists in a dark alley. Guns were pointed at his temple. He was abused and threatened. They thought they had captured another small-time police informant. One they would immediately kill. But instead of cowering or begging for mercy, Doval made a move that stunned the terrorists. In a stern tone, Doval said in pure and fluent Urdu, "Fools, put down your guns. If you kill me, your entire community's dream of freedom will be shattered. Your masters have sent me to you." The terrorists were stunned. "Who are you, master?" Doval threw his trump card, which he had honed over years in Pakistan. "I am a special operative of the Pakistani intelligence agency, the ISI. I have been sent across the border specifically to help you." Khalistani terrorists believed Doval. This was no fluke. Indian intelligence agencies had intercepted and disappeared a real Pakistani ISI agent on the Punjab border, who was actually on his way to Amritsar. Doval had gone there disguised as that ISI agent. Doval was presented before the terrorist commander, Surjit Singh Panta. Panta, a ruthless and cunning terrorist, interrogated Doval for hours. But Doval was not deterred. He had learned from his 7 years in Pakistan. Using this information, Doval revealed to Panta such internal ISI secrets or documents and nuances of Pakistani politics that no ordinary Indian could possibly know. Panta was convinced that the man sitting before him was indeed his friend from Pakistan. Panta was deeply frightened at this time. The CRPF cordon outside was tightening, and he desperately needed any outside help. He welcomed Doval and included him in his inner circle. The next few days were nothing short of a nightmare for Doval. He was eating and sleeping with the terrorists, living in constant fear that if he made a single mistake, if his cover was blown, even for a second, he would face a death that would be horrifying. But Doval was doing his job. Panta showed Doval the bombs with which he was blackmailing the Indian government. Doval inspected the bombs and then received information that changed the course of the entire operation. The bombs weren't real, they were fake bombs. Surjit Singh Panta had simply spread a rumor to blackmail the government or government. He didn't possess any high-grade explosives capable of blowing up the temple. It was a bluff. Doval observed much more. He ascertained the exact number of terrorists, estimated to be around 200. He counted their weapons. How many AK-47s did they have? Where was each weapon kept? He mentally mapped out the entire temple complex, identifying which terrorist was positioned at which position, their blind spots and their weak links. Doval then convinced Panta that he needed to go out to contact his handlers across the border, Wanadi. Panta, desperately seeking outside help, fell for the deception. As soon as Doval emerged safely from that impregnable fortress, he headed straight for the secret command post where the Punjab Police's Super Cop, DGP KP Gale, and the NSG's top commanders were stationed. They were anxiously awaiting him. Doval pulled a blank piece of paper from the table and, using his remarkable memory, drew a precise map of the entire Golden Temple. Pointing his finger at the map, Doval said, "Panta doesn't have ammunition to blow up the temple. The bomb is fake. It's just a psychological bluff." It was as if a heavy weight had lifted from the room. The fear of mutually assured destruction had bound Delhi's hands and feet. Doval had uprooted that fear, Mushur. Doval continued, "There are about 200 terrorists inside. Their positions are stronger on the eastern and southern terraces of the Parikrama. If we pin them down with accurate sniper fire, they will surrender on their own." Gil then looked at the NSG commander and said, "The prey is now in a cage, and we have the lock on the cage." On May 11, 1988, Operation Black Thunder 2 officially began. KPS Gil was leading the police force from outside. He was a member of the NSG's 51 Special Action Group. 1,000 commandos had been thrown into action. But this time, there was no blind firing. Unlike the army, infantry wasn't pushed in. The strategy was to tire them out. With the help of precise maps provided by doval, NSG snipers took up positions on the tall buildings surrounding the temple. The most important of these was a 300-foot-high water tank, from which the entire courtyard inside the temple was clearly visible. The NSG was equipped with high-tech German-made Heckler & Co. PSG-1 sniper rifles, equipped with night vision scopes. As soon as a terrorist tried to emerge from cover, a single accurate shot from the sniper would kill him on the spot. The terrorist's son's entire defense line was paralyzed. Simultaneously, psychological warfare was launched from outside. The temple's electricity and water supply were cut off. In the intense heat, the terrorists began to suffer from thirst. Loudspeakers continuously blared announcements urging them to surrender. The constant sniper fire and lack of water weakened the terrorist defenses. Their morale was shattered. On May 18th and 19th, the terrorists surrendered. Nearly 200 feared terrorists surrendered. 41 terrorists were killed, including Surjit Singh Panta, who consumed cyanide and took his own life. The biggest victory of this operation was that not a single NSG commando was martyred. No civilians were killed, and most importantly, the sacred Golden Temple was not even scratched. The stigma of Operation Blue Star was washed away by the resounding success of Operation Black Thunder 2. This time, the entire operation was conducted in front of media cameras to prevent terrorism from spreading false propaganda about the temple's desecration. For this indomitable courage and unparalleled intelligence operation, the president awarded Ajit Kumar the Kirti Chakra in 1989. This was the first time in history that a police or intelligence officer was awarded this military honor. Friends, if you enjoyed this hair-raising story of Ajit Doval's bravery and diplomacy, watch this video. Be sure to like, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Jai Hind. Jai.